Hey YouTube, Esther781. So today we got a Craftsman 24-inch snowblower, and this thing is a mess. It's been sitting for years outside. A friend of mine just got given it by the family member it came from, and he's wondering if it's worth getting it back up and running again. It doesn't like to roll. I've asked it nicely, and it didn't help either. I'm not a fan of these machines, if I'm being completely honest. They're very cheaply built. That gearbox is an Achilles heel on these. There's a brass gear in there that likes to give. These, I don't know what you call them, augers, are very flimsy. You know, this one actually, they're in really good shape. But usually they're bent. Everyone's, bent a different way, to high heavens, but I don't know. I want to go in this with an open mind and look at it for what it is, which is... Okay, that's seized. Which is a free blower that might have a second chance at life. So, let's get into it. So, I feel like we'll start with the basics. Does it have oil? It does. It's full. It doesn't smell like gas, so things are looking up. And the, yeah. All right. I was going to say, let's check the gas, but gas tank isn't working. Just noticed that that's bent. Sorry, ADD's kicking in. Let me get a pair of pliers. Well, I don't have a pair of slip joints big enough, but I got these adjustable vice grip chain pliers. I'm going to break this cap. It's like ratcheting, which is good. Well, how about that, huh? All right, so we're gonna have to readjust. I will get in here, but I have a feeling it's gonna be all rust. This is just ridiculous. Yeah, look at that. Wow. This thing has been sitting outside. Preview of coming attractions. I'm gonna try to, if I can grab this white bit, I think that's the last piece of the cap. And sure enough, a little bit of wiggling back and forth. And I think we already know what we're gonna see in here. Christ, I still gotta take it off. And the moment we've all been waiting for. Yikes. Yep. She's a goner. These tanks do not like to come back. You can get them clean. I can fill it with evaporust, but once that lining is gone, it's a death sentence. I mean, it's gonna come back, and I don't like that. All right, let's keep moving. All right, well, let's just get right into it. What fresh hell awaits us underneath the belly pan? It's already kind of crunchy. Ow. Here we go. Mouse nest. Yes, sir. Anybody home? Hopefully not. So why does this thing not want to roll? Yeah. It's not even close to contacting on the friction disc, so that ain't it. Is it the bearings? Like these bearings right here? Because this, yeah. It's the only other thing, right? Yeah, because these are just floating here, so it's got to be one of these bearings not moving right. I don't know. Yeah, all right, that kind of moves. What a mess. Okay, so I don't actually think it's a problem in here, because this is moving extremely free. And these, you can see it's loose. This one's a little tighter, but I can move both of these pieces very freely individually It's when they mesh. Yeah. So I'm wondering if it's just a little bit of lube might help. Right now, I don't care about getting any grease on the drive plate because I can clean that. I'm trying to just give this thing a sort of once over. There we go. Whatever we just broke through feels a lot better now. So maybe it was something inside these bushings, but these bushings are plastic, so I wouldn't think it would be, you know, that bad, right? Maybe. And if this ends up actually working, I will take that all off and put marine grease. Okay. Now at least we got, it's rolling like it should. What's unfortunate is this is a solid axle machine, so you can't even undo one wheel to give you some, you know, single wheel drive. So you do have to muscle this machine the entire time that you're using it. But okay, outside of that, friction disc is pretty thick. All right, let's check the belts out. And I just preemptively clamped down the auger engagement handle, took the bolts out of the cover. What do we think, mouse rest? No, it's actually decently clean under here. Oh, there's a spider. All right, it's actually not all that bad. I don't see any cracks right off the back. I'm gonna have to spin this over by hand and let you guys know if I find anything else, but drive belt looks good, nice and tight, and that also moves. When you actuate this, you're actually bringing the drive plate in to touch the disc. So, what do we got? We have a bent bucket on both sides. We have decent belts. We have a drive system that actually rolls now. We need a gas tank. We need a carburetor. I guess it's not looking the worst. And I think this might have freed up now that I actually sprayed it. Yes, now it actually moves. So things are looking up. So I'm 99% sure that this engine is going to run and should be fine. But it has sat outside. So I want to hear it and know for sure before I go ordering anything. So let's take the plug out, take a look at that, squirt some fuel down the throat, and maybe test out the electric start as well, and see what we got. And I actually see some fuzzies down there, so give this a little blowout before we drop any of that down. Well, that wasn't the tightest. Great. I don't understand. Well, hopefully it didn't let me water down. This is pretty well covered, so hopefully not. No rust, just some garbage. All right, shoot some fuel down and see what happens. And we'll just give it some of this. That's way too much. Trying to keep you guys turned on a little bit more. Some people don't like it when I leave out the boring stuff, so. Trying to move quickly so fuel doesn't evaporate. Like I said, hopefully the electric start actually works. Full throttle, keys on. So there you go. Can't argue with that. And instantly for you guys, but some time has passed. The holidays came and went. Good Christmas. Hope you guys had the same. You think my family's trying to tell me something? Either they don't watch my videos or they do. Anyway, moving on. We got the gas tank. I'll put the part number right here. Also got a new carburetor just because I wanted to get it coming, and shipping has been so unpredictable with the holiday season. And tank actually came with a nice new cap, which is awesome because this thing is done. So let's get into it. I figure we'll start on this side. This cover's got to come off. Already missing a bolt here. We got one here and one right here. Oh, still missing a bolt there. These got to come off. I think this just pries off. Not 100% sure. And this one, and this is funny. I think this guy used to be or a mechanic or some sort of tinkerer, because those of you who know will know that there is a bolt right behind this bracket, and it's the worst design. You have to take this whole bracket off just to get to this cover. It's already been cut or mangled or broken, so whoever the last owner was, I say thank you. You have no idea how much easier that makes my life. Truth be told, and I've shown this on the channel before, I'll usually take that off and put a notch so that you can sneak a wrench in and tighten it back up, but you do not have to remove the whole thing. Because that's just madness. You know, we're kind of in that tricky part of the program where I try to let you see what I'm doing as best I can, but unfortunately my hand's in the way, or the tool is in the way, or a snowblower is in the way, so just know I'm trying, doing my best here. Like I said, I think this will pop out. There we go. Yummy. And then also this should just pull out or pry out, whatever your fingers are built for. All right, so this should just pop up and out of the way now. And now you can see the other end of that bracket that it looks like you used some sort of animal break that off with, but what's done is done. Can't help that. All right, 210s, and this cover should come off, I think. Maybe. We'll start here, 210. I'm just realizing that it sort of wraps around to over here. Oh, let's just pull, see what happens. Maybe we don't have to. We probably do. Yeah. Come on. Nope. Over to the starter side, because something's holding this on. So I'm going to take these Phillips out and see what that is. Oh. All right. So there was supposed to be a bolt here, but it was just kind of being pinched down by the starter. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. It was held in by the starter. Pay attention now. All right. Now we should be able to get that cover off. All right. Pull the cord down. Slide it forward. And I'm hoping I can just twist it right up and out of the way. Wow. All right. Try to get this primer line off. I do believe this is the only thing holding us back. Yep, there we go. Now I can get this right up and out. She's had some water intrusion. So let me get you in close so you can see how this linkage is set up. All right, now I have done these before, but I haven't done this for a very long time. So here's the choke lever. So I think, yeah, so that's just gonna drop right out of there. And then probably up and out of there, right? Not that we have to, I just like seeing how things go together. And after that, we have a fuel line. Starting to feel better now about ordering a carb preemptively. Just because seeing all this rust towards the intake doesn't give me exactly the warm fuzzies on reviving this carburetor. This fuel line, I'm gonna make an executive choice here and just say we should replace it. I wonder if it's supposed to be molded. Too late now. Well, that was just pure water coming out, so now I believe if you push this, I'm gonna swing this out of your way. Okay, so if we pull this forward, I think it's a Honda style throttle. Ooh, That the lever was stuck under there. I think it still is. Anyway, we'll look at that after we get the tank out. Just push up and out back here. Let me tilt you up. Up and out back here. Focus. And then just this little spring. Unhooked. And we should be able to take the carb right out and onto the bench. So we basically already know this thing's going to be full of water, but let's see anyway. Yeesh. Look at that. It's just the worst looking mud and ew. Okay. This has to be one of the worst carburetors I've taken apart. This is just thick. Ah, it's like scale on the walls. So yeah, I'm not even gonna bother trying to get this thing. I mean, look at the stalactites on here. I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, there's just rust all the way through. Could it come back? Possibly. Is it worth my effort? I don't think so. I have a nice Sten's replacement carb right here, so why don't we open that up and see if it matches. And here's the side-by-side comparison. Ooh, it's actually a Hoya. So I wonder if this is direct replacement, not aftermarket. See, here it's actually adjustable too. This was an adjustment, but they break it off so you can't tinker with it. The government knows best, right? Don't want to answer that. I don't want to get political here. All right, I'm saying this is a direct replacement, which is good. So let's get that tank off. So I was just giving a quick look around to see, you know, where's the best place to put the camera. So these two bolts got to come off. I think that's what's holding it on that side. And then I know that there's a bolt straight down here I'm about to show you going this way that holds the tank. Then take a look what I just saw. So this may have happened before. And he may have said, screw that bolt in particular. So this is what you get when you get something that's been tinkered with. Gotta get this cover off. That's two PH3 Phillips, I think. So let's tear in. All right, two 10mm here. And I believe that tank just moved. Okay. Now we just got to do the two Phillips on the top. Trying to stay out of your way. And those honestly weren't even really tight at all. I'm sure it's fine. I believe that needs to come out in order for this to sneak around it. Yes, yes. And probably needs to stay off. All right, I'm gonna put something in here just because I see a mouse nest and I don't want it to drop in. Come on up. Yeah, sure enough. Great design, Briggs. So, cool. All right, that's nice and free now, so don't know what that was stuck on. Let me blow some of the mouse house. And I just cut the two tanks side by side here, and everything looks to be correct. I didn't have to take that plastic shroud out to remove the tank, so it does actually bolt into there, but it was nice to get it out of the way anyway. I ran a tap really quickly through this hole. This is the one that he left the bolt out of, and the threads were a little messed up, so my guess is it's a tricky bolt to get in. So he was trying, he got it cross-threaded, and then he said, you know what, two bolts is plenty. So but I do want to try to throw the bolt back in there. Some bolts I don't care about, some bolts I do. Go figure. So yeah, let's throw the new tank on and try to get it bolted down properly. I'm gonna do my best to stay out of your way. And around that, and down, and yeah, both holes are lined up. Couldn't be simpler. Drop that real quick. Throw that on and over. Wonder why they went with a plastic cover here and not just like make the tank slightly bigger. I don't know. Engineers have forgotten more than I know, I'm sure, but doesn't mean I can't ask questions, right? Right? Now, I don't know how I was able to set the camera up here, but what I got here is just a little bit of electrical tape on the outside of this socket, and you gotta be kidding. There's no way I get it first try on camera. I think I'm actually started. Give it a little shake. Yes! Look at that. Sorry if you guys are getting, whoa, sorry. I was gonna say sorry if you guys are getting seasick, but I can't actually see what I'm doing in here through you guys, but it is in and started, so I'll turn you back on in a second. And that's her, in and tight. Now, where did I get that bolt? So, I do have some metric bolts laying around, but I wanted the flange, and I didn't want to try to wrestle with a, trying to get a washer in there too, so I'm just gonna put a washer on this one. I robbed it from the other side of the tank, and Bob will be your uncle. And the tank's in. I ended up actually swapping that one with this one, so once this is back up in place, it's a little less noticeable. I feel like a small engine Bob Ross, and we're just gonna sneak a little non-factory bolt in there, and that'll be our little secret. Let's continue on. And I'm just trying to get you guys the best view possible. Putting this back together, just dropping that in the straight up and down position, and it drops right in. I keep bumping into the camera, sorry. Get the little spring in the hole, perfect. Okay, that's in. I just want to make sure I'm not pinching the wire because that thing's just hanging. What else? Choke. So as nice as the Sten's carb was, it did not come with gaskets, which I thought was odd. But the gaskets look in good shape, so I'm not too concerned about it. I can already hear the people, oh, he's a hack. Well, I'm ugly too. I've told you guys before. So I'm gonna go by memory instead of looking at the footage yet. I thought, come on. I think this went straight down and in and was upside down or right side up. Sorry. And now we'll just try it. Choke. I think that's it. Does that seems right. Yeah, we'll go with that. Sweet. And then there was one more outer gasket, which this one isn't the most crucial, but we'll throw it on anyway. Primer bulb. Yeah, I gotta throw that fuel line on before I screw myself, huh? And the new tank actually came with a new inlet, which is also the fuel filter on these. And so if you're ever curious, this is how you change them. Just like the Honda style. There we go. I'll tighten that down and we'll get some new fuel line. And we got a nice brand new Tygon fuel line in there. So I think right now I'm gonna pause and throw some fuel in it just so I can make sure this isn't leaking, the carb isn't leaking. I don't want to get this all back together just to have it take it apart again. So I'm gonna do that. Well, I got it full of fuel, no leaks. So I figured, why not suck the carburetor down, see if we can get it running without the shroud on, and just make absolutely sure that there'll be no problems. So got the choke on, got the starter hooked up. What could go wrong? Place your bets. Okay, so it sounds great. It does have that little surge. I'm betting we need to drill out the pilot jet on this. That's a very common thing to do, even on a factory carb. So I'm glad we did this test. I know I've brought this up before, but there's actually a lot of channels out there that will do this preemptively. To be honest, I completely forgot about the mixture screw on the side of the carburetor. It's out of sight, out of mind. That's completely on me. If you're doing this and you have a mixture screw, I would definitely start there before trying to drill out the pilot jet, even though you'll probably end up doing it anyway. This is such a common issue that many small engine guys will drill this out before even putting a new carb in. So let's get it over to the bench. All right, so everyone has a way of doing this. This is my advice. Everyone's seen these bits. Me, I don't like them. They break almost every time, and then you're in another world of trouble. So I would take some time, invest in a better set. This is a Mac Tools brand. I don't know if it's actually made by Mac Tools, but spend the money on a better brand, and you'll probably have better results. But the hardest part for me is just getting my damn fingies onto these bits to start to check and see what fits and what doesn't. So this is a 78. That's a little tight, but it does go in there. These are so tiny. Just trying to get it back in the damn hole. There we go. So let's try 77. And all I'm doing is just this little tiny orifice down there. I can't even get the camera to focus on it. Just want to drill that out one size bigger. All right, now this is a longer version of that same drill bit. It was actually so small I couldn't get a good purchase on it, but you just want to have light pressure. I'm just barely pushing on this thing while I'm drilling. And you can hear, and you can even see the little chips on my finger. That it's starting to work. Don't push too hard. This is just brass. You push too hard, you'll break the drill bit, or you get it to catch and spin in the plastic, and then it's game over. They do sell these pilot jets, but you don't want to buy unnecessary stuff. It's good to know that you can, though. And I think we're just about through. I'm going to pull out and just take a look. And it's starting to get a little tight. And I think we just poked through. You can actually see, I'll hold it there so you guys can see. We're not quite through yet. There we go. See my drill? Just poked through. So now, keep spinning clockwise as you're pulling out, and that will pull out any chip and give this, obviously, a nice blowout. Even with some brake cleaner wouldn't hurt. I just don't want to kill your ears right now, so I'll do that off camera. Let's throw this back in. A little bit of WD-40 to help her go back. And obviously, don't just go by the drill that I used for yours. Always double check, because you never know. All these overseas carbs, they can use different manufacturers, different parts, and you never actually know if it's truly the same. So I'm just showing you to show you what I do. All right. And I'm just going to set this by eye, and then once we get the machine running, we will dial that back in. All right, well, hopefully this isn't going to be too loud for you guys, but I just want you to see how I dial the idle back in once I get it going. So, contact. All right, well, I'm happy with that. It, left it running for a few minutes, and it definitely smoothed out just a little bit, a tiny bit of surging. You're not gonna, I mean, sometimes it's as good as you're gonna get. I mean, it probably hasn't run like that, you know, that good since new. And a lot of these actually do have that little surge right out of the box. So I'm not gonna mess with it anymore. I'm happy where it is. I would like to get this oil dumped now that it's still hot. So let's see. Yeah, it's been a season or two. And it looks a little bit of shiny, but honestly, no big chunks. This is not out of the realm of ordinary for a machine that hasn't had an oil change in, you know, what do you think? Has it ever been changed? I mean, the guy was mechanical enough to take the cover off and take the tank off, so hopefully he was, I don't know. So throwing this cover on is actually going to be a little bit trickier than anticipated. This breather has to go right here, and we already know the purge line has to go there, so shouldn't be extremely difficult, but just something to keep in mind. Again, it's not going to make the biggest difference in the world if it doesn't get put back on. It's just a breather. It's not like this thing has an air filter. So, but you always try to get things back the way they were, right? Right? All right, well, I don't know how much you'll be able to see versus what I can actually show you, so just take my word for it that I'm trying my best. Ow. Just trying to get my bearings here. Get it on one stud, and then that'll help me get it. So it'll let me know where I need to go for the other side. I'm working blind, and you guys are standing in the best spot. So, there, I think we got her. Get the purge line out of my way. Which put it in the way of the other line, so I'll get it out of the way this way. And I think we're lined up. Just gonna slide her forward. Oh, I missed. There, all right. Now, I have to work in this crevice to get that purge line on. So here's what they give you for room, which it's actually not that bad. I got the breather hose, which is that big one right behind it, already tucked up on there. So now when this pushes in, it shouldn't pinch anything. This is clipped, sorry. That's the primer hose, which is clipped, runs along the outside. So I just gotta maneuver that little clamp down and we'll be done. And some of you thought I'd forget all about the drive disc. I didn't even test it out while it was running because I remembered we sprayed all sorts of lubricant and WD-40 all over this thing, so didn't want to get that sort of impregnated into the rubber disc. So now we can do a proper grease job under here. Some marine grease. You've seen this before, but for those of you who haven't, just a little dab will do ya. And I just spin the wheels very slowly, spread a nice thin layer, shift it to the side, get the other side of that, and that looks gorgeous right there. You do not want to leave any clumps because that will be spinning this fast and you don't want it to get on that metal disc. I forget how to talk. So now I'm just wiping the excess grease off of my fingers and onto this gear. It's not crucial, but it can't hurt. It can only help. And that's it. Slap this cover back on and we're done. Actually, before I go slapping that cover on, there's something else that's bugging me here. This cable, it's for the drive system. I hate this setup. I'm gonna start off by saying that. So right here is in its fastest position. And right here is one position slower. And right here is one position even slower. You see anything? So right now it's stuck in the, well, it always wants to return to its fastest gear. Right here is where we got to make an adjustment. Because if I put this all the way to, reverse, right now that drive disc should be to the right of that disc. And you can see it's exactly in the center. So this thing just has forward and no reverse. And that ain't good. So I'm going to leave that in the fastest setting and sort of adjust this bracket, find a hole that works, and tighten this cable up. I'm sort of working through it in my head as I'm talking to you, sorry. So I think if we back this off and this off and just sort of inch it down, but we might be maxed out, so we might have to, we'll fiddle around with it. All right, so here's where we're starting from. Let me just get these backed off. A couple of 7/16. Wow, that was tight. Just want to be able to move the bracket. Do I even need to loosen that one? Okay, no, so that one's good. So all the way down, that's maxed out, which means we need to move this lower. And I don't think I can actually get this cable out unless I take this bracket off. So, yep, let me get a socket for that because I think that's a 3/8. All right, I've backed that off a hair. Is that still not enough? Really? Come on. Yeah. I'm willing to bet this cable has probably stretched, but they give you all this beautiful adjustment, so why not use it? Hoping to avoid taking this all the way off, but I feel like I might as well just take it off at this point. All right, is that enough? Okay, so now we need this to be all the way down and still have some adjustment. So if I put this in there, is that still not enough? That's as much as we're gonna get, huh? And there's no adjustment at the top. Interesting. Right? Because there's no other... Sorry, I'm just looking at this at the same time you guys are. Yeah. Cable has stretched. Is it stretched beyond the point of usefulness? Is what we're debating now. So let me slap this back together in the lowest position possible and see if I can order a cable, but also see what we actually have now that it's been adjusted. So let me tighten this up. I'll turn you back on in a second. All right, so where are we at? We moved this from the center to here, move this all the way down. We are in the fastest position, and we have made an improvement, because watch this. That is not all the way in gear. Okay, it is. A second ago it wasn't, but just about falls in. So we've lost, sorry, phone died. So we've gained one extra speed. Let's see how we're doing on reverse. Houston, we have a problem. Some of you physics nuts might actually see the issue, but unfortunately, it's too close to the center, yeah, to actually be able to pull up. It's actually starting to pull out, which maybe that's part of the problem. Is that bent? Sorry. I think, wait a minute. Look at it from this angle. Yeah, stare into the light, that's smart. I think this might be a little bent. Let me try to bend that back. See, it's kind of cockeyed this way. I think it should be going in. Let me try to bend that, see what happens. Okay, now that's looking much straighter. What I was trying to say before was, and it still might be the problem, I haven't tried it yet, but when I was shifting, it's pulling up on the cable and it was wanting to pull out instead of rock. So let's see if we actually have, all right, yep, we have some travel now. And we are on the opposite side of the center of the drive disc. So now if I shift into second speed reverse, if we're still to the right, we should be golden. Did we gain our speeds back? Oh, we still have a little bit of slack, but not enough to actually click it into gear now. I hope I'm not getting you guys incredibly seasick here. I'm sort of working this through with you guys at the same time as me. So I think we're going to roll with it, at least see if it works. Let me slap that cover on and we'll try her out. All right, she's back together, lowered down. I'm going to put the choke on, throttle up, give her a couple of pumps. I did put oil in it, don't you guys worry. Let's see if it starts with the pull start. As far as the bucket, there's really not much can be done. I just usually put a adjustable wrench on there and try to get it straight as possible, but you can see the way it's flexing. It's gonna happen again. Doesn't mean we can't fix it now though, right? Like some of you guys were beginning to lose faith that I was actually going to fix this. Come on, I've been losing sleep over this. Don't ask me how things can get this way, but that's what you get when you put a plastic chute on a snowblower, right? Dang it. And that's gonna wrap this one up, guys. She's not the best machine. It's not the prettiest, but she is red. And, well, that's about all she's got going for her. No, I mean, it should blow snow. I mean, I've voiced my opinion on these MTD units, and I'm just not a fan, but they'll work. It'll get you through a storm. It'll blow snow. It's a nice, if you have a small driveway. I don't know how much she's going to tackle the hard pack stuff at the end that the city leaves, but that's not my problem. Anyway, I want to say Happy New Year to you guys. Hope you had a good holiday. And here's to 2025. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.